The Astra Museum in Sibiu, Romania. Welcome! In this video, you will take a visual and narrative walk through the outdoor museum called Astra, a magnificent testimony to the Romanian village. We have arrived at the edge of Sibiu, Romania, to step into another world. This is the Astra National Museum Complex, though it is better known simply as the open-air museum in Dumbrava Sibiului. As the view opens up before us, the sheer scale of this place becomes immediately apparent. We are not merely looking at a few old houses tucked away in a corner. We are entering a sprawling 96-hectare landscape, one of the largest open-air museums in all of Europe. Nestled within the ancient Dumbrava forest, the museum is a sanctuary of greenery, quiet waterways, and expansive skies. The mission here is monumental: to preserve the very essence of traditional Romanian rural life. It is a living architecture of ingenuity, craftsmanship, and a deeply rooted connection between the Romanian peasant and the natural world. As we begin our walk down this sun-dappled path, we are traveling back in time, leaving the noise of the modern city far behind. The atmosphere here is one of profound peace. The museum is designed so that you don't just look at exhibits, you inhabit their environment. The structures are not crowded together, they are given space to breathe, set amongst meadows that bloom with wildflowers, surrounded by towering oak and pine trees that provide shade on a warm day. You will notice the intricate network of gravel paths and dirt trails meandering through the complex. They invite us to get lost, to wander from one village sector to another. Central to this bucolic landscape is the beautiful lake you see reflecting the blue sky. It serves as more than just scenery. It is a vital part of the ecosystem here, hosting water birds and providing the aquatic setting necessary for many of the architectural marvels we are about to encounter. The sound of rustling leaves and bird calls forms the natural soundtrack of the journey. Let us turn our attention to the homes. There are hundreds of monuments here, transported piece by piece from every ethnographic region of Romania. Notice the incredible diversity in the roofing. We see thick, textured thatched roofs, a testament to a skill that is becoming increasingly rare. These roofs, sloping steeply to shed heavy snows, sit atop humble, whitewashed walls. The thick cob of adobe walls were designed to keep the interiors cool in the scorching summers and warm during the bitter winters. In other areas, we see the transition to wood. Look at the beautiful patina on the aged timber logs of these cabins. The craftsmanship is visible in every detail, in every joint at the corners of the buildings. These homes were built without nails, relying on the precise fitting of wood against wood. A quintessential element of Romanian rural architecture you will see repeatedly is the porch, prispa in Romanian. Whether narrow and simple on a poorer house, or wide with elaborately carved wooden pillars on a wealthier homestead, the porch was the transitional space between the private home and the community. It was a place to work in the shade, to socialize, and to watch the village life pass by. Look closely at the details as we pass. The small windows, often glistening with old, imperfect glass. The fences are works of art in themselves, some made of woven hazel branches, others of sturdy, upright planks, delineating the boundaries of the household courtyard. A Romanian village was never just a collection of scattered houses. It was a tightly knit community anchored by faith. As we continue our walk, we inevitably find the spiritual heart of the village, the church. The museum contains several, but the large wooden church you see is a masterpiece. Often built on higher ground, these wooden churches were characterized by their soaring spires, pointing towards the heavens. The skill required to build such a tall, slender structure entirely out of wood, capable of withstanding centuries of weather, is remarkable. These were the gathering places, the spots where the entire community celebrated births, mourned deaths, and marked the passage of the seasons. Surrounding the homes and churches, we see the spaces of daily life. We see wells with tall sweep arms, vital sources of water that also served as meeting points. We see barns, stables, and storage sheds, each built with a specific purpose, reflecting an agricultural society where nothing was wasted and everything had its place. We even see spaces for leisure, reminding us that life was not just about hard labor. There are structures here dedicated to community games, like traditional skittle alleys, showing the lighter side of village existence. As the camera glides towards the specialized craft sectors, we encounter the world-renowned ceramics of Horezu, a tradition so vital to the human history that it is protected as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. This is where the humble earth of the Vâlcea region is elevated into high art, a craft born from the spiritual shadow of the Horezu monastery and the refined Brâncovenesc style of the 17th century. The process begins on a manual kick wheel where the raw, wet clay is tamed into elegant, thin-walled plates and pitches. But the true magic lies in the decoration. The artisans use a tool called a horn, a literal hollowed out of ox horn tipped with a fine needle, to trace intricate flowing patterns onto the surface. You might notice that using a thin wire tool called a gaitza to pull the wet pigments into star-like or zigzag designs, creating a mesmerizing kaleidoscopic effect that is a signature of the region. The color palette is iconic. A warm ivory white base, a deep Horezu green, vibrant cobalt blue, and a rich, earthy reddish brown, all derived from local minerals. Look closely at the motifs, for they are a complex symbolic language. The undisputed king is the rooster of Horezu, a proud bird with a magnificent multicolored tail, symbolizing the victory of light over darkness and the awakening of hope. Beside him, you will find the tree of life, representing eternal growth, the snake of the house acting as a guardian, and infinite spirals that mirror the very moment of the universe. In the traditional Romanian home, these weren't just plates for a meal. They were jewelry for the walls, symbols of a family's appreciation for beauty and their deep connection to the divine. As we move further past the lake and along the streams, we encounter what makes Astra truly unique among European open-air museums: its incredible focus on traditional technology. This is not just about how people lived, it's about how they worked, survived, and thrived using pre-industrial ingenuity. As the sun begins to dip lower, casting long shadows across the grass, the tranquil beauty of the Astra Museum is amplified. To walk these paths is to understand the deep connection between the Romanian people and their environment. Every structure here is built from the materials of the land: stone, earth, wood and straw. They seem to grow organically out of the landscape rather than being imposed upon it. This museum is more than just a collection of artifacts. It is a testament to resilience. It honors the unnamed craftsmen, the carpenters, the blacksmiths, the weavers, and the farmers, whose knowledge was passed down through generations by word of mouth and hand-to-hand training. We are approaching the magnificent collection of mills. The museum boasts the most significant collection of traditional mills. Look at the water mills perched along the channels. You can see the complex wooden mechanisms, the great wheels waiting for the rush of water to turn them. These structures were the industrial centers of their day, used not just for grinding grain into flour, but also for sawing timber, processing wool, and crushing ores. The engineering here is brilliant in its simplicity and effectiveness, utilizing the renewable power of the flowing streams. Dominating the skyline of the higher ground stand the windmills. These sentinels of the past are awe-inspiring. Some are built entirely of wood, able to be rotated on a central pivot to face the prevailing wind. Their massive blades are currently still, but one can easily imagine the creaking sound as they harness the breeze to power heavy grindstones within. We also pass various presses, huge wooden contraptions used for pressing grapes for wine or seeds for oil. The sheer side of the timber beams used in these presses speaks to the immense physical effort and the cooperative labor-defined rural life. For nearly 40 minutes we have wandered through centuries of history. Yet we have only scratched the surface of what these 96 hectares contain. As we make our way towards the exit, taking one last look at the windmills silhouetted against the sky and the quiet reflection of the trees in the lake, we carry with us a sense of the profound, quiet dignity of rural Romania. Thank you for joining this walk through the Astra National Museum Complex in Sibiu. It is a place where the past is not only remembered, it is felt. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like and share so that other people can watch the same beauties you just did.